Hello to all you moviegoers out there, and welcome to Apocaflix Movies and our monthly preview. Each month, each of us make a list of the 5 movies we're looking forward to the most. After giving them points and adding up all of our lists together, we arrive at our official group list. August is full of a wide variety of movies, but what made it and where did it land? Without further ado, here are our 5 most anticipated movies of August. Kicking off our list of movies for this month is the sports drama Brian Banks. Based on an incredible and inspirational true story, the film follows Brian Banks, an All-American high school football star whose life is upended when he is wrongly convicted of a crime. Although there's a lack of any kind of evidence, Banks suffers from a broken justice system that ultimately sentences him to a decade of prison and probation. Fast forward to years later, and with the help of many, Banks fights to reclaim his life and fulfill his dream of playing in the NFL. It's really hard to say no to a sports drama, but it becomes even more difficult when it's a story like Brian Banks. As one of the biggest sports stories of the last decade, trailers for the biopic have teased a powerful movie that will capture Banks' inspiring story to the highest potential. Starring Aldous Hodge, Greg Kinnear, and Sherry Shepherd, Brian Banks is released in theaters on August 9th. At the number 4 spot on our list, and it may end up being one of the best of the year, The Peanut Butter Falcon. The film follows a young man named Zach, played by Zach Gottskagen, who runs away from a residential nursing home to follow his dream of attending a professional wrestling school that's ran by his idol, the saltwater redneck. However, on the way, he meets up with the Drifter, played by Shia LaBeouf, and convinces him to let him tag along. Tyler decides to help Zach and teaches him the essentials such as how to swim and shoot, as well as promising to drop him off at the Saltwater Rednecks Wrestling School. If you've seen our reaction to the film's trailer, you know how we feel about this film. Out of all the movies coming out this month, this looks to have the most heartfelt story of them all. A journey of true friendship that includes laughs and possibly even a few tears. Although the film is introducing Gottskagen for the first time, they've surrounded him with 2 incredible actors in LaBeouf and Dakota Johnson to help carry out the load. And if you've seen the trailer, you know that it seems to work perfectly. Also starring John Hawkes, Bruce Dern, and Thomas Hayden Church, The Peanut Butter Falcon has a limited release date on August 9th. Making it into our top 3 for August is the lone straight comedy of the month, Good Boys. The story follows 3 typical adolescents who set themselves on a path to prove they belong with the cool kids at school. However, when they end up with one of their teenage neighbors' purse that just so happens to contain her stash of drugs, the boys go on the run, getting into more and more trouble along the way. 2019 has featured very few comedies to this point, but hopefully Good Boys is the turning point. This movie looks outrageous in all the right ways. We've seen stories like this before, but never with it being a group of boys at this age, which is exactly why it looks so ridiculously funny. Could it end up being just okay, or even a disappointment? Sure. But myself and many others can't help but be excited because Evan Goldberg and Seth Rogen produced the film, who happen to be the minds behind other great comedies like Superbad, Pineapple Express, and Neighbors. Now you're excited, huh? Starring Jacob Tremblay, Keith L. Williams, Brady Noon, Molly Gordon, Lil Rel Howery, and Will Forte, Good Boys hits theaters on August 16th. Barely missing out on the top spot of the month is Warner Brothers' new mob drama The Kitchen. Set in Hell's Kitchen in the 1970s, the story follows the 3 wives of 3 big-time New York gangsters, played by Melissa McCarthy, Tiffany Haddish, and Elizabeth Moss, as they continue to operate their husbands' operations after the men are sent to prison. And to everyone's surprise, they are pretty good at running the business themselves. To everyone's surprise, this ain't no comedy, and that's a good thing. Although McCarthy and Haddish headline comedy projects all the time, they are both incredible in dramas. And not much needs to be said about Moss, as she's been crushing that genre for years now. While the story is quite an interesting perspective to tell from, it's these 3 ladies that are going to either sink or swim in this film. And just from the trailers alone, it sure looks like they'll be swimming the entire time. It also helps that the film is rated R, which helps to amp up the mob-centered action and drama, something that is an absolute must for this style of film. Also starring Domhnall Gleeson, James Badgedale, Brian D'Arcy James, and Common, The Kitchen arrives on August 9th. It may come to no surprise to many of you, but solidifying itself as our most anticipated movie for August 2019 is Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs Shaw. A spin-off from the home franchise, this story seems like an unlikely team-up between Dwayne Johnson's Luke Hobbs and Jason Statham's Deckard Shaw, as they go toe-to-toe with the cybergenetically enhanced super soldier played by Idris Elba, who is hell-bent on finding and releasing a bioweapon that could wipe out a large part of the population. What can we really say about this one? A Fast and the Furious movie will always make our monthly lists, but there's a reason this one lands in at number 1. Johnson and Statham together were the best part of the last Fast and the Furious movie. Their on-screen chemistry and character banter, due to their past allegiances, is the single reason this movie even stood a shot at getting made. They could have done anything that would have gotten us excited, but they just so happened to get Idris Elba as the villain, a Mission Impossible breakout star in Vanessa Kirby as Statham's sister, and the director of John Wick and Deadpool 2, David Leitch. Need I say more? It may not end up at being the best film of the year, but there's no doubt here that it's a great shot at being the biggest. Also starring Cliff Curtis, Isa Gonzalez, and Helen Mirren, Hobbs & Shaw smashes into theaters on August 2nd. Well, there you have it, our top 5 most anticipated movies of August. Quite the diverse list if I say so myself. Make sure you not only leave your thoughts on our list in the comments, but also let us know what is your list as well. We are really interested in hearing how different or exact moviegoers' lists are for each month. Also, don't forget to let us know if we missed anything or if you're surprised at something that didn't make the final cut. Of course, thank you for checking out our August preview, and as always, make sure you come back next month as we prepare for September.
Hey everyone, Jacob Bartley here. Thanks for watching. If you want to check out something similar from Apocaflix movies, click this video up here. You want something a little bit different? Check out this video down here. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to Apocaflix movies and let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We always love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.